I'm here every Thursday to restore order.
All right, back by popular demand. You love this segment every week. Former Tide All-American offensive lineman, now part of the SEC Network, helping us break down college football. Barrett Jones, good morning, sir. How are you? Yep. Okay, that's on Rivers. Still flustered from last week. Still mad at you. How are you, buddy?
I'm mad at Rivers.
Oh,
So,
okay. Clap back.
Rivers. I got caught up in the emotion of the moment. She was asking me to make bold predictions about the dogs, and I made them, and it's really come back to bite me. So tell Rivers to chill a little bit, and maybe I wouldn't look like such an idiot.
A lot of people have gotten burned by Mississippi State. I bet them 2 weeks in a row, so I'm the jerk. Way to go, State. Hope you're happy.
Yeah, I know. State is just ruining everything. State. I was high on State. And
Tell me about it.
Okay, you know what? I think this is a perfect place to start then, because we've done it 2 weeks in a row. Let's make it a tradition. Again, I don't know what to make of Mississippi State this weekend.
Yeah.
Auburn at Mississippi State. It's an Auburn offense that doesn't look that good. But then, what does Mississippi State look like? What's your read on this Auburn State game?
My read is both teams desperately need a win. Both fan bases are growing dissatisfied. Auburn, you can't just step into the rug, but they played an ugly game this past Saturday against Southern Miss. I mean, it's 21-13. I think their offense was slopping around all day. It's kind of hit a low point over there on the Plain. So I think Auburn needs it more. I think it's crazy how fickle fan bases are. At the beginning of the season, after the Washington win, everyone was high on Gus and thinking, this is going to be awesome. And then now I'm already hearing some grumbling about, Gus's offense isn't working anymore. It's time to move on.
They just extended him.
It's obviously too early to jump ship. But if Auburn loses this game and loses a few more games down the stretch, there's gonna start to be a little heat turned up over there. So I think Gus needs this one. I think Auburn finds a way to win somehow on the backs of that defense. I believe in Auburn's defense right now a little more than I believe in State's. And State's defense has been okay. They haven't been really the issue. Nick Fitzgerald and then that offense, the offensive line to me has been so disappointing. I didn't have a whole lot of expectations from Auburn's offensive line. They lost a lot of good players last year. Braden Smith was a good player, but Mississippi State's offensive line, I really felt like they were going to be one of the best, most physical units in the conference, and I just haven't seen that so far this year. They've kind of gotten pushed around, haven't been able to run the football. I think Kylan Hill is a really athletic, good player, but they haven't been able to get him in space. Nick Fitzgerald has been sloppy in the passing game. It's just kind of all been a nightmare the last few weeks for the Dogs.
So another game that I want to ask you about this weekend, it's October, which means college basketball starting up. Black Cats for Halloween, Cats, Wildcats, basketball, Kentucky, Big Blue, the Kentucky Wildcats, 13th in the country, traveling to College Station. This A&M team, I don't know if I've ever seen a team get more credit for 2 losses. What's your read on this? Do you think Kentucky goes into College Station and comes out with a win?
First of all, that was one of the most confusing questions I've ever asked. I'm not sure where you're going with that. The cat, there's all kind of cats going around. I don't even know.
But it's October.
October's cat time. That's the point. We all got cat scratch fever.
Yeah, I get it. It's just anyway. All you had to do was just say, what do you think about the A&M Kentucky game? But, I'm a simple kind of man. But I think that I hear what you're saying. A&M is not there yet. I think I said this on your show a few weeks ago. I'm buying long-term stock in A&M. I think A&M is going to get there. I think A&M is going to be a power in the West. I think in 3 or 4 years, A&M is going to be in the picture pretty much every single year. I mean, Jimbo's building a powerhouse down there. To me, when I watch A&M, and if you hate Alabama, get ready for this comparison. You'll roll your eyes. But it reminds me of Alabama in 2007, right? When Coach Saban just got there, and Alabama wasn't there yet. In fact, they lost to Louisiana Monroe that year. But they played some teams really close that they probably shouldn't have, like LSU. And they kind of showed up at some games. And what I saw that season is the same thing I see from A&M right now. It's like belief, right? It's like belief that you have things heading in the right direction. There's excitement around the building, and that's exactly what I see. I think they're excited. They're starting to buy into what Jimbo is putting down, and they kind of believe that they can be better. Now, they don't have the players in place right now to compete at a national level. But I think they have the players to play in Kentucky. Look, I think Kentucky has surpassed my wildest dreams. But since I've been wrong on every game, you could certainly go out and take a second mortgage on your house and probably do the opposite. But I'm going to go with A&M. I think A&M finally gets kind of
awesome.
that win they've been looking for, and finds a way to win this one.
Go Cats. I feel so secure about my pick.
Yeah, as far as coaches kind of struggling year one and then guys buying in year two, I think Kirby Smart's another example of that. And yes, I like Jimbo long term. I just don't know if I just feel weird continuing to go against Kentucky when they prove me wrong at every turn. We're talking to Barrett Jones, former All-American, Alabama great here on All the Bench, 100.3 and 104.5 ESPN. Barrett, let's talk about the local game as number 5 LSU travels to the Swamp to take on number 22 Florida. Did you ever play in the Swamp?
I did play in the Swamp. It was extremely loud. Florida actually scored on the very first drive on a really long pass play, and it was 7-0 Florida right off the bat. And I think we ended up winning 45-7 or something. But it was a little humble brag I had to throw in there. But it was a great place to play. It was a lot of fun, and it's a great environment for college football.
So this game's interesting to me because from a resume standpoint, LSU looks far more. They look superior to Florida, but when you look at some of the numbers and the analytics, especially what Vegas thinks, stuff like that, this looks like a much closer matchup. Who do you think has the advantage?
Yeah, and I think crazy things always happen in the LSU Florida game.
Yes,
it's just always a wild game. There's always something unexpected. The ball bounces a funky direction. It's always a fun game to watch every year. I think it's always one of my favorites. So I'm excited about this one. I think Florida, it's a classic case of overreaction. They lost to Kentucky, and everyone's like, "Oh, Florida's so terrible." But Florida's not terrible. Look, I'll say a similar thing I just said about Jimbo. I think Dan Mullen's a good coach. Okay, Dan Mullen hasn't forgotten how to coach. I'm a Dan Mullen believer. I think he had at Mississippi State. He did a really nice job of coaching those guys up, and I kind of think he is a great developer of talent. I think he really has a knack, particularly at the quarterback position. And you look at the NFL right now, and I know we're talking about college football, but all these young quarterbacks who are having success, generally they're having some kind of mentor at the quarterback position. You look at Sean McVay and Jared Goff. You look at Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. Baker Mayfield, he's got a really good offensive coordinator.
Todd Haley.
Todd Haley. Thank you. Couldn't remember his name. They all the ones who've really had a lot of success kind of have that offensive-minded mentor who's sort of helping them get in place. And to me, that's exactly what Dan Mullen's going to be for somebody. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be Felipe Franks, even though he has looked drastically better over the last few weeks. You can already kind of see that starting to take shape because quarterback is so much about confidence. And right now, football in general used to be just pro football. Now it's leaking into college. Has become so much about the quarterback position. And I think there's just too many athletes around there for Florida not to be good eventually, right? So all that, my long-winded answer to say I think Florida is a better team than people give them credit for. I think Dan Mullen's a really good coach. But I'm taking LSU this weekend. I think LSU finds a way to win the game. I think they're still a better team. But Florida's on its way, I think, to being a solid program again.
Twice in the first 5 weeks of the season, LSU's had their quarterback, Joe Burrow, named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. That hadn't happened around here in 50 years.
Let's be clear. We've had 7 quarterbacks drafted over the last 15 years. Only SEC school to be able to say that. Thank you.
Didn't age well, but, well. So why is Ensminger, Burrow,
how many of those are still playing?
Hey, look, let's not get lost in the weeds here, Barrett,
right?
Okay? Facts are facts.
Either.
Facts are facts.
Where's AJ?
DeMarcus sure did pan out.
Yeah, what's Blake Sims doing nowadays?
Blake, hey, come on, Blake. AJ's there. AJ's the backup for the Raiders.
Okay, all right.
Chill out, Barrett.
Hey, well, Danny Etlin's on the on the Patriots practice squad.
If you're going to come at me, T-Bob, you better come correct. That's all I'm saying.
Why is Burrow and LSU offensively succeeding through the first 5 weeks?
I'm sorry, what did you say? What was the question?
Why is Burrow and LSU offensively succeeding under Ensminger in the first 5 weeks, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I like Ensminger. I think he's done a nice job with this offense. I think he's simplified it for Burrow. Burrow is a similar situation. He's kind of the Kentucky, right? Everyone's kind of keep doubting him. They kind of think he's going to come back down to earth. And he's come maybe back down to earth a little bit, but he's really played well. I like his game. He understands what his abilities are. I think Ensminger has a great feel for kind of what he's capable of. Doesn't try to ask him to do too much, but he is gradually kind of expanding his role, I think, in this offense. So, I'm excited about the way they're progressing. When I watch tape of offenses, you see, is it getting better week to week? Do I see improvement? Do I see them expanding kind of their repertoire of plays and executing more fundamentally sound each week? I think I see that at LSU. Even though they dominated the Miami game to open the season, I think you all both agree there were still some pretty sloppy moments on offense. And I think it's gotten a little bit better week to week, and I think this offense has continued to improve. So, I like what I've seen from Ensminger. Now, is that to say they're immune from going out and laying an egg offensively one of these games? Certainly not. I don't think this offense is the point where they're going to score 40 points a game no matter what. It certainly could happen, but again, I like their growth. I've seen they've made plays and they've had to. I think they've gotten better week to week, and they've started to execute more fundamentally sound.
On Twitter, at Barrett A. Jones, every Thursday morning, breaking down the SEC slate of games with us here on Off the Bench on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge and in New Orleans. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.